Alright. I can see comment sections. I can hear my kids screaming at the dogs. My dogs are on one tonight. I don't know what's wrong with them. Aside from the fact that they're my dogs. And about every time at night that I'm trying to stream, they're like, oh, it's time to be huge pains and be really noisy. Loads of fun. Loads of fun. Alright, so how was everybody's day? Come on. I started off today. I sewed up a hole in some pants I had. They're like jammy pants. And they had a hole in a what's the word? Unfortunate spot. So got those sewn up. Random account, how you doing? And then I was down here. I got a couple small things done. Some organizational stuff. Come on. There we go. I got the rings for the next project all cleaned up. They're drying off. Had them in the tumbler. They're aluminum, so bright aluminum's one of those things where you can't tumble it for forever until it's clean. You're doing good? How am I? I'm doing all right. Once you have bright aluminum clean enough, you can tumble it, and aluminum will polish up against itself really nicely. It can get very bright. Hence the term bright aluminum. Excuse me. So come on. There we go. It's all cleaned up, ready to go. Drying off, ready to be made into a bunch of little cubes. And so I got those ready to go. Clean up my desk over here a little bit. It's like I have this desk, then I have 3 tables, right? And those 3 tables are covered in crap for the most part. It's getting better. Slowly getting better. It's good. You've been trying to learn how to wiggle your ears and you think you're getting the gist of it? Nice. Yep, takes practice. It's like if you do not have if you're like me, we didn't have electronics growing up. We were forced to play outside. And when we got grounded, we got sent to our rooms. And so when you're in your room, nothing to do, and you're a kid, you learn how to do stuff like wiggle your ears and flare your nose and roll your tongue and turn it into a W or a loop or whatever. My sister, this is proof that my sister was a bad kid. She got sent to her room so much. She has all kinds of facial contortions that she can do. It's quite amusing. Okay, country, I'll double check. No TV back then in your room? Yeah, that's a thing too. Gandalf. I should do an ear wiggle right now. I can move my whole glasses. Let's see here. Can you even tell? If you look at my ears, I wiggled them for you. So, yeah. You know my sister was a bad kid because she can raise one eyebrow at a time. Like, I have to, like, focus to lift one, but she can just do one all the way over and then all kind of like Elvis lip movements with her upper and lower lips. It's funny. So, all right, come on. There's that, and then I got my, what else did I get done today? I did not get to the post office, unfortunately. I'm still trying to figure out what to do with my brother's computer. I need a freaking flashlight down here to see this. There's no light getting through this cube. There we go. I've always been learning to raise an eyebrow. Yeah, it's difficult. Yeah. Come on. Sorry, I gotta slide this into place. Tighten everything up. So, still gotta get my brother's computer out in the mail tomorrow. First thing tomorrow morning, gotta do it, right? But hey, what can you do? At least you can wiggle your nose, which you're proud of. Yeah, it's, you know, that's a start. Trying to think. What else did I... We had the neighbor kids over for dinner tonight, and they had pizza and some Dairy Queen. Dairy Queen's got the new fall flavors. I tried the pumpkin pie. It was not that great. I was not that impressed. And, you know, they're releasing fall flavors, and it's 95 degrees outside. We were promised a storm since Sunday, but it completely missed us. And usually it gets really hot here, and then a large storm rolls through, and occasionally we'll have tornadoes, electrical storms, or hail, you know. But we didn't get any of that today. I don't think we even got a drop. It was just hot and miserable. And then later on in the day, we got a slight breeze. That's been my day. Where do I want to start? I want to finish this side over here. We're getting a bad storm here in western Illinois, 60-mile-per-hour winds and golf ball hail. Oh, geez. So the storm that was supposed to be coming to me must have hit you. Or must be heading towards you. Is this going the right direction? Yes, it is. It's like, I've already replaced 2 fence posts this year. I really don't want another big storm. And I know there's nothing I can do to stop it, but also, like, I don't want to replace a 3rd fence post. Right? Which I think is reasonable. Come on. There you go. There. You hate fencing, especially barbed or razor wire? I've just got wooden fence posts. There's nothing too complicated about them, but the company that did our fence, where the fence post hits the ground, there's 6 inches of dirt and then 36 inches of concrete. And it's like, I had to rent a jackhammer the first time. The second time I went out and just bought a jackhammer. What was the other? A jackhammer and a sawzall. Right? I didn't want to spend money on tools, but it's like, if I'm going to keep having to replace these fence posts, there's no point in me renting them. And yeah, razor wire sucks. Concertina wire. Like, I remember putting that crap up in Iraq, and it's not fun. Tina is not fun. It catches on everything. It rips all your clothes. It rips your gloves. Even if you're trying to be careful, it doesn't matter. So I remember we had a really crappy gate fence thing made from concertina wire. Razor wire is concertina wire for the uninitiated, right? And this gate was to the dump that we used, right? So we lived in a prison. There's no indoor plumbing there, so everything had to be carted off post, off base, and everything that you were throwing away, like important documents, had to be burned on inside the prison. But it was a hospital, and so we had all kinds of disgusting stuff that we had to throw away. So the dump that was outside the Abu Ghraib, right? We had a gate on it because the locals would go in and dig through the trash looking for stuff. And that was always really gross. But no matter how much concertina wire we put up, they got in there. Even with the place guarded, they would get in there. So everything we took to that dump we had to burn, right? And that was not very healthy that caused a lot of health complications for a lot of the people that I worked with. Burning stuff right next to where we lived, and don't join the military and then like get hurt. Not from that. Because we've had several members of our unit get cancer and whatnot. And it's like, is it from that? And then there's all sorts of like depleted uranium around Iraq, so excuse me. Just not a fun country to go to. Even if it is on the government's dime, right? So I remember one time we had to dump a bunch of hospital waste from the hospital out into the dump. And while we were out there, one of the local children was wearing a pair of gloves, like purple gloves that we used, nitrile gloves that we used at the hospital. And we were like, where did this kid get those gloves? And it's a giant burnt out pile of medical waste. It's like, oh, he picked those dirty gloves up off the ground and put them on in order to sift through some of the rest of the garbage. So we had our interpreters with us explain to him what he was doing. It's like, those could have been used to clean someone, and you don't really want to put those on your hands. Poor kid. Didn't know what he was doing. But also, don't do that. Don't pick up gloves off the ground and use them. Just FYI. Oh. Those were the good old days back in 2004, 2005. That was on my first deployment too. My second deployment was boring, which is good. You want a boring deployment, but when I had requested, or volunteered rather, to deploy, and yeah, that was a mistake. That ultimately led to my injury and then me getting out of the military. So like try and close this backwards. Did that just work? Almost did. Look at that. Make a little adjustment here. Thanks for sharing the live, guys. Appreciate you. There we go. One more on the bottom here and it'll get a little easier. So, one of the things I find difficult, the last time I talked about my deployment was just a couple weeks ago, really, but after about 10 minutes of talking about it, the stream was age restricted, right? And I don't want to upset anyone, any platform. And being in the medical field, a lot of the stuff that I did was pretty gnarly. So it's like, there's not a lot I can talk about. It's like I was on 2 deployments. I was at Abu Ghraib after the whole incidents that made Abu Ghraib famous happened. I was there for a year. I convoyed in between there and Baghdad a bunch, transporting patients and going on equipment runs back and forth and taking the commander to meetings and whatnot. And I was a nurse at the time. In order to be a nurse, in order to be an LPN in the military, right? It's a year-long school after you get your combat medic identifier. So since I was also a combat medic, I could go on these runs. What did I just do? Oh, I am a silly person. So, like, if a convoy needed a medic or another medic or something, or someone to drive the ambulance, it's like I had the license to drive Humvees, and I was certified as a medic as well as being an LPN, so I could go leave my hospital job for a little bit, drive to Baghdad, stay there for a few hours or overnight, and then come back the next day. while I was in Baghdad one time, I think I can tell this story without getting in trouble. You have made a basketball hoop? Right on. Did I do all this backwards? Oh my gosh. Alright, what's going on with my music? You've made a basketball hoop and I have just screwed up both my music. There we go. And my weave. I just did everything backwards. That was dumb. So, one time, I was transporting a patient from our hospital to in Abu Ghraib to one of the other hospitals in Baghdad, right? And while I was there, I was waiting outside the ambulance, and some kid came up and offered to sell me some stuff. And I couldn't leave my vehicle because we weren't going to be there very long. But he asked me if I needed him to go buy me anything because I couldn't leave my vehicle. I was like, "You got any Jack Daniels?" And he goes, yeah. I was like, well, how much? $40. I was like, how do I know you will come back? He's like, no, I'll come back. So I gave him $40 and he came back. He ran into a nearby restaurant. It's like a Chinese restaurant in Baghdad. And grabbed 2/5 of Jack Daniels for me. And I stowed him away in the ambulance and I drove back to Abu, and I thought I was slick, right? It wasn't until many years later, after one of our senior NCOs had passed away, that we all had a big group meeting online. And I found out that pretty much everyone had managed to score alcohol in some way out there. Whether they had friends ship it to them or I don't know how else they got it, but I think some people were just ordering it online. Having it sent to the unit back stateside and the unit would forward it. I don't know how that worked though. Right? Did they gift wrap it or something? Yeah. I most certainly was not the only one at the hospital that I was working at who had managed to secure alcohol. You're not supposed to drink alcohol in Islamic countries. But I got it in I had some for the hospital that I worked at, Abu Ghraib, right? And then I managed to sneak some into Qatar when I was there for 2 weeks in a Listerine bottle. And they have like a bar where you have like a 3-drink minimum. I'm knocking everything over with that. So you get, or not a 3-drink minimum, a 3-drink maximum. So you get like 3 tickets a day. And the color of the tickets changes each day and you can't save them up or anything. But I had my 3 tickets and then I also had a, oh, you know what? It was in a Camelback. That's what it was. A friend of mine had sent me out some vodka in a Listerine bottle. Good friend. And I put it in my Camelback to hide it. Snuck it into Qatar and had my 3 beers and then a Camelback full of vodka. That was a good time. Good time. If you are in the military, right? I made this mistake. I would always go home on leave always went home, see the family, whatever. And that's just, you know, I take my 2 weeks each year. Or take 2 weeks of my 30 days each year. Fly home, see the family for the holidays or whatever, right? So I never went anywhere cool. The Army never sent me anywhere cool. The best place they sent me was San Antonio. That was the nicest place. But I had people who, like, they went to Europe and they got a Euro pass and they rode around on the train and went all over. I was like, I never even thought to do that. It's like I got I got Walter Reed Army Medical Center in Washington, D.C., which has changed locations since I was there. There was like Walter Reed Army Medical Center and then Bethesda Naval Center. And there were 2 big hospitals in the area. But I think Bethesda became the new Walter Reed. They were doing a lot of work to it, trying to build it up last time I was there. And then I heard that it switched. I don't know the details. But the last time I was in D.C., everything surrounding the mall area was a dump. If you don't live in a high-end neighborhood, it's not a nice place. Walter Reed certainly was not in a nice place. San Antonio was nice. Fort Polk was not nice. Had a great time there because of the people in my unit. Some of them, anyway. But Fort Polk is... When I was there, there was almost nothing built up in the town except a Walmart and an old theater. Right? The Walmart had come in and basically crushed all the little mom and pop stores, but there weren't that many to begin with. The city was there because the base was there, right? Towards the end of my time there, a couple new restaurants had moved in, a new little strip area had been built up, so that was like one place to go in town. But that was pretty much it. There was not a lot there. Fortunately, it's only an hour away from Alexandria, where I would end up spending most of my weekends. What else did the military send me? Abu Ghraib. Abu Ghraib's not a nice place. To think that, they shoot at you there. Like a lot. Not a nice place to be. Last saw you a month ago, it really grew. Wow. How you doing? Yeah, it's coming along pretty nicely. We're actually almost done. Believe it or not, this is the 4th layer. There's only one more layer to go. You don't get what it is? That's okay. Oh, uh-oh. Okay, hang on. I gotta put on my safety gear. I need a Band-Aid for my knuckle. My personal protective equipment. Right? I was closing up one of these large rings last night, and I went right over the area where I gouged it 2 weeks ago. And I gouged the crap out of it. Alright. Decane. So this is a chainmail jelly cube, right? Lots of fun. If you look close, you can see that each ring has 4 other rings going through it, right? And the weave is called Japanese 4-in-1, right? So I took that weave and I used big rings to make small rings, right? Or I'm sorry, I used small rings to make big rings. I was like, hold up, wait a minute. And then I wove the big rings together in that same pattern, right? If you look closely, you can see the internal rings all have 4 big rings going through them, right? And then I'm using these small strips of Byzantine to put where the big rings come together so that they hold them, words, so that they hold each other in place and don't move around. So, and I just put a Band-Aid on my knuckle because when I was doing the top layer of these the other couple weeks ago, my pliers slipped and I just chunked it into right there, right? And I did that again last night. Fortunately, I had the Band-Aid on and I didn't hurt myself. So but yeah, so and then there's a cable running through it because this is going to be suspended from one corner to the other, and I'm going to take some I'm going to make a frame for it, a display for it, and that'll be the cube in the middle. There will be a metal square going around the outside of it, and then a larger square, and then a base of some kind. And it's going to look cool, and someone's going to pay me lots of money for it someday. How heavy is it? It's about 25 pounds right now. I got about 5 more pounds to go. How you doing, memes? Oh, I already had a ring woven through here that I already need to close. So, and then the end goal is to make 10 or 15 large chainmail sculptures like this and put them on display at some kind of metal art gallery somewhere. And you know, hopefully they will sell for lots of money. Is that chainmail? Yes, we are making chainmail with chainmail. Doing good. It looks like a lot of work. Great job. Thank you. It has been a lot of work. You know, just the project itself, in addition to the right there. Did you see that? If you blinked, you missed it. I was closing this ring, it slipped, and it went right into this knuckle, right at that spot where I gouged it. I'm so glad I put that Band-Aid on. Ugh. Because it happened like right at the end of stream. The last time I did it. Why is this song so loud? I feel like I'm yelling. Pipe down. Ow. Yeah. It would have hurt had I not had the bandage there. Perfect. Alright, that's one. I need to... Oh, I need to add one over here too? Dang. I gotta make some more of these. You did blink, you didn't see it? I was closing up this ring right here across the top of the ring, and my pliers slipped and I drove it right into this knuckle. Yeah, this is the first of hopefully many large sculptural projects. Like that's just what I prefer to make. I've done a few small experiments. This is the first like large scale one I've done. Thanks for sharing the video. Appreciate you very much. So I did a couple small little sculptural pieces and they came out pretty cool. And initially I had I'd wanted to make a... Oh, thank you for the dinos. Appreciate you. Thank you for sharing the live. Appreciate you. I'd wanted to make a dragon scale pine cone, which is a little chainmail sculpture in and of itself, right? And a lot of people make really small ones and make them as jewelry, you know, pendants for a necklace or something. And they're cute, you know. But I wanted something a little bigger, like a sculptural piece. And I was using the rings on hand. I thought that this weave would work, but it didn't end up being the case. And I was looking at the rings I had initially made out of these small rings here, and I was like, that kind of looks like it would be perfect for a cube. And it almost is, except the rings aren't round, and so they don't... they have a tendency to slide past each other. So, apparently my kid's dog, your Wi-Fi connection is low? Oh no. So, I was playing around with the rings I have on hand, and I made this little piece here. And it's quite rigid, but not too much. This is called Captive Inverted Round, if anyone wants to know. I can actually fit, see how there's 2 rings in there? I can actually fit 3, but 3 makes it almost perfectly solid, right? So if I was going to build a structure out of it, I would use 3. But to make a big, rigid ring out of it, I think 2 will work, and then this might work for the larger... There's 2 ring sizes in dragon scale, and to make the pine cone, you got to have 2 ring sizes. So this might work for the larger ring. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Right? If you can't tell, it flexes a little bit. So, DK, thanks for stopping by. Appreciate you. All those little pieces. Yeah, 42,560 of them. Which, to put that in perspective, that's like 2 shirts. Or 1 shirt with really small rings. And most of it is done. I've got about 8,000 rings left to do. Random account, you're good. I did not put one over here. I better do that now before I forget. And we'll add at least 1 more large ring tonight. Yeah, so... the last inlay I did had 33,000 rings in it. Excuse me. This cube has 22,000 rings in it so far. And there's plenty of, you know, smaller projects that don't require as many rings, you know. You don't have to take it to extremes like this, but Mech, how you doing? Thanks for the follow, appreciate you. I'm just, you know, in the process of trying to get some of these rings that I have in my basement used up. The scope of some of the projects has become absurd. So, which is fine. It's just my life. I'm just spending it down here in my basement, weaving one ring at a time. Figure I got a good crap. Another 40 years doing this. Uh-oh. There we go. If one of these open rings drops down in here, I may never get it back. I don't want it to fall out later and have people like, oh, it's falling apart. You know what I mean? That'd be bad. Mac, what are you up to tonight? Yeah, I was mentioned something last night. It's like, if you want to make money in chainmail, don't do it this way, right? Like there are the trick is to use as few rings as possible to make something that is really quick and sells really quickly. So few rings as possible, quick to make, and whenever you make one, someone buys it right away, right? It's not connect, you know, several thousand rings together. Come on. Stuck on something. Cut your foot. Oh no. My day was pretty good. I sewed up a pair of jammy pants. Had the neighbor kiddos over for dinner. They were hanging out with my kid and fed them all pizza and Dairy Queen. Was hoping for a bit more of a storm than what we got. How did you cut your foot? Amber, how you doing? Thanks for the heart. Crap. And then my brother sent me a computer to send out to him, right? And I think I was talking about this last night. But the computer was just in a box sliding around inside another box, right? And when I opened it up, there was one sheet of packing paper in with the box. I was like, this is absurd. What type of material? Do you only use one type of metal? I use a bunch of different types of metals. That's what I have in reach. This is all stainless steel, right? This is brass, bronze, and stainless steel. I've got some titanium over there. And I've got some anodized aluminum. Oh, excuse me. Ooh. Carpet tack. Oh, that's no good. Louie, how you doing? Cutting your foot on carpet tack. I have some carpet tack exposed right now because the corgi chewed up the carpet and chewed up where the carpet and the kitchen, the wood floor of the kitchen meets. And like, he just turned 1 the other day and he's doing better. But he still thinks that if he doesn't go outside before he's allowed to run around in the house, he will still go to the bathroom inside the house. Just the most obstinate dog. Right? There. I'm glad I remembered to put, or I'm glad I found that to put that in. You watched a tutorial on how to wiggle your ears and spent 10 to 15 minutes practicing. Nice. Good. Got the offer from that other job. They're willing to pay you what you're asking. Nice. It's more per hour by $2, but there's like 5 weeks of furlough during which you'd be at this old job. Yeah. Caught your heel and tore the skin, so not really a cut, but ripped deep enough to bleed. Fun. Fun. Sounds like not a good time. Any way you cut it. Alright, is this the last corner here? Got all the little ball bearings in place. Now to figure out the insurance and benefits and tuition reimbursement stuff. There you go. Yep. Nursing jobs often offer tuition reimbursement. And I was like, if I'd have known that, would I still join the military? Probably, yeah, because I joined the military not knowing what I was going to do with my life. I walked into the MEPS office. So you go and you get signed up by your recruiter, right? And when it's time to sign your contract, get your physical done and all that stuff, you go to this place called MEPS, Military Entrance something. I don't know what it stands for, right? So you go there. An old man looks up your bunghole. And you walk like a duck forward and backwards across the floor. And then you go into some dude's office and you pick your job. Or you negotiate for your job. Now, most of the time it's whatever you agreed, with your recruiter. But then you got to finalize, like, do you qualify for any bonuses? What schooling, What do you want your first duty station to be, and all kinds of little details that get drawn up in your contract, and then you and the military agree to something, and eventually you get out of there and you ship off to basic training. And so when I walked into that office, I didn't know. It's like the job I had picked at the recruiting office, they didn't have a slot open for anymore. So they asked me what I wanted to be when I grew up, and I said I have no idea. And they offered me, I don't know, like some pharmacy job or something, which, not a bad gig. They offered me lab tech. And then they're like, how about a combat medic? I was like, that sounds cool. / licensed vocational nurse. If you could be at college, would you be going to that school after work shifts? Still culinary? There you go. It's just a high traffic area, and the carpet got pressed down far enough to expose the tacks. Ugh, yeah. And they will jump up and bite you when you least expect it. Yeah, so the recruiter, or not the recruiter, the job I signed up for with the recruiter was not available. And then I went to MEPS and fell into nursing, right? I was like, got trained up to be, went to basic training. Then I went to combat medic school for 6 months. Got my EMT license back in the day. And then went to Washington, D.C. for a year for my LPN training. So, like, by the time I, got to any nursing jobs, they were like, oh, yeah, we offer tuition assistance. I was like, yeah, I had to go to a really bad place in order to get my college paid for. So that doesn't incentivize me to come work for you as one of your benefits. But I could see how other people could benefit from it, for sure. Ah. Yeah, insurance part is big because with your untreated ADHD, you don't want to end up dropping out. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Insurance is a big thing around this country. Like if you have good insurance, great. Do everything you can to keep it. My favorite part about working in the medical field was that until I got my disability through the VA, medical insurance for nurses is really expensive and it doesn't cover anything. This whole thing looks complete. Am I sure there's more pieces? Yeah, there's more. There's one more whole layer up on top. I mean, technically I could stop here, but not quite where I want it to end up. So then I got to start figuring out how I'm going to, like, I know what I'm going to use for the display, because I can't weld, so I can't build the display myself the way I originally planned. Jesus. Same for pharmacy technicians. Your insurance is crap. Louie, have a good one. Thanks for stopping by. Always a pleasure to see you. Where's that? Yeah, that's the thing that blew my mind. Is I got out of the military where I had, I was 100% covered by the military because I was a piece of military equipment, literally. And I get out, and if I got injured or anything happened to me, I would immediately go bankrupt. You would think that your insurance would cover your medications if you work in a pharmacy. You would think that. That's funny. Oh. And you would think that, healthcare providers would have like really good insurance, but nope. Doesn't. Even the family plans, they don't cover anything, and they're super expensive. So it's like working in the medical field as a civilian outside of the military and seeing what these patients' bills are, and understanding where the money's going. Right, like it's not going towards their health care. It's not going towards the providers that take care of them. They're nurses, they're doctors, they're lab techs, they're pharmacy techs. It's not going to those people, right? It's going to a bureaucracy of administrators and what's the insurance abacus thing? Actuary tables. It's going to a bunch of people who work on actuary tables to figure out, like, is this treatment really worthwhile? Can we use a cheaper treatment first before we move up to the next one? It's like it's absurd. It's an absurd way to go about healthcare. So And the thing of it is, the insurance companies work with Medicare and Medicaid to write the healthcare legislation and then lobby your senators and representatives, both in your state and at the federal level. And yeah, that's why it doesn't get fixed. So you're paying high insurance premiums for them to go and legislate the people you vote for to represent you, get lobbied by your insurance company to make your healthcare more expensive. That's one way that you're getting screwed. Anyway, you missed TRICARE? Yeah. Yeah, I wasn't ever really... Like, if something happened to me, something detrimental, while I was a civilian, get into a car accident, whatever, I was just going to leave this mortal plane. I was just going to quit my oxygen habit because there's no way. I'm not going to destroy my family by dragging them through a bankruptcy, losing their home and whatnot, just to take care of me. And now I'm, 100% covered by the VA, but it's like, I got stupid lucky for some reason. Thanks for the follow. Appreciate you. Anyway, all right. So what do we got to do tomorrow? I do have to get my brother's computer out tomorrow. If I can't get it through the post office, even though they say that they can take packages with lithium-ion batteries in them, and then they said they couldn't at the post office, but their FAQs say they can. I'm going to go find that out. If I can't do that, my brother gave me a different address to FedEx the package to. Right? Got to do that first thing in the morning. Now, once I'm done with that, it's just, what do you call it? Working on these black and stainless rings. I've only got 3 of these Byzantine strands left that's holding everything in place. Right? I've only got 3 of those left, so I got to make some more of those. This is my last tub. I've got about a quarter of it done. Quarter of it emptied from the top. Remember them people that used to make wallets, etc. from can tabs? You just said, hold my beer. Yeah. Yep. Like, my neighbor drinks White Claws and collects the pink tabs. I guess they get some kind of rebate from her school if they send in soda tabs or something. And I don't know what the whole situation is, but oh, that's not good. There's a lot of pink can tabs that she has in a container, and it's like, I could go make some pretty hot pink pop tab armor, and I bet people would like it. But apparently she needs them for something. So I've seen one guy use like the green monster tabs and then the silver can tabs, and made a big tab suit of armor, can tab suit of armor. Means man, some truly creative work. Thank you. I think making a wallet out of chain would be a pain. Yeah, I mean, you could theoretically make anything, but like getting it scaled down to be functional would definitely be problematic. But I have seen some interesting projects completed on items that we use daily, and it's like someone makes it out of chainmail, and they do a really good job, and they make it functional and everything, and it turns out really cool. You think the rings would have to be at least as small as the ones in your bracelet? Yeah. Well, for something like that, I don't know. A chainmail, a wallet made from chainmail, right? That's what we're talking about. Like you'd have to weld each ring so they didn't come apart. Because they're so small, the only way they'll be strong enough to stay in place is if you weld them. Otherwise, they're just going to get ripped apart by use. You know what I mean? So, not impossible, just arduous and time-consuming. Like this project here. So, I'm going to try and do some more organizing tomorrow. I've got, okay, the big Finnegan's Wake inlay that I finished last month, right? I need 400 silver aluminum rings, and I've got well over 400 gold aluminum rings. So, in the straps across the top, I'm going to swap out the aluminum, the bright aluminum for this gold here, and then add so I'll add a row of yellow, take out a row of silver, and then add a row of silver to the outside of the straps to beef them up just a little bit more. So I've got that to do. I don't want to do that tomorrow, but that's one of the many things I have to do. I did go grocery shopping today, so that's taken care of. It's like we started school and I hadn't gone grocery shopping yet. And I went to go pack a lunch this morning. I was like, oh crap, what am I going to send my kid to school with? Like I made him a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. There was a lemonade prime because I didn't have a juice box for him. And I did have some fruit and some cheese sticks, so, but I went to the store and got him some other stuff today. How long have I been working on this for? This has been going on, it's all of like May. Uh-oh, puzzle piece of death. All of May. And then June. I finished the Finnegan's Wake flag at the end of June. So most of July. Excuse me. And pretty much all of August so far. A leather wallet with chainmail on the outside would be cool and functional. Yeah, you can. That's one of the things too that I like to do, right? Like I've made chainmail guitar straps, right? But they're uncomfortable and they'll scratch up your guitar if you don't put a layer of something in between them and the guitar, right? So it's like I could have made some saddlebags out of chainmail, right? But the saddlebags covered in chainmail, at least the lids being covered in chainmail, looked a lot better than anything I could have made out of chainmail, right? And that's some dedication. I've shown you the guitar straps, yeah. And they're cool looking, right? They are cool looking. I'm going to add some leather to them, and we're going to use the leather to protect guitars. So we don't, and we're going to use the leather to make adjustable straps. Because that's the thing too. Try making an adjustable strap out of chainmail. It's not impossible, but it is incredibly difficult to get something reliable. And especially if you're a musician performing on stage and you've got this metal adjustable guitar strap, you know, and what happens if it breaks? I think the leather guitar strap has proven throughout time to be a really good material for guitar straps. It's sketchy. And I'm going to incorporate it into my chainmail guitar straps and call it a day. Right? So as opposed to making a wallet out of chainmail, I definitely think a leather wallet with some chainmail on the outside would be cool. And much more practical than, say, a chainmail, a wallet made from chainmail. Right? And that's the case a lot of times. What's going on here? Is something going on? Am I losing my mind? Usually when they don't feel right, it means I screwed something up. That you've been working on this for that long is a good job, thanks. Don't ask me how long it took me to finish my last inlay. Just a mere 19 years. I finished a lot of stuff in between then, but like I let that inlay get to me for way too long. There's the mistake. I found it. I knew something was off. But it's done now. It's waiting to be hung up on the wall, but it's done. It's like if you're not sure if you're skilled enough to start a project, the best way, and I said this a lot while I was working on that inlay, is to do as much prep work as possible to ensure your success. Because this inlay took me a long time because I did no prep work and I was freehanding it off of a picture that I had blown up on my computer back in 2005, 2006. That's better. That's much better. And even back then, there were resources that I could have used to help me be successful, and I didn't really know about them too much for the most part, but when I finally did take a look at them, I was like, yeah, there's no way I'm going to make that on the computer and then make it by hand, right? But it would have saved me a ton of time had I gone through and taken, the time to design it on the computer first. One of my many mistakes with that inlay. Did I get the spear for it? No, I don't have the spear, and I don't have the what do you call it? The Celtic themed wall hooks that I want to get. So I've seen a few that I'd settle for. Nothing that really jumps out at me and says, yes, I tie this whole piece together. I was hoping to get the spear next month, but with dropping like $400 on tools for fixing my fence, I was like, yeah. That's part of why you do what you do today, help people that are starting, provide resources. Yes, I don't want people to suffer because they don't know. right? They don't know anyone who makes chainmail. They don't know who to ask. They don't know where to get started. When they get stuck, you know, they're up poop creek without a paddle. Okay. Oh, that hurts. It's like, I don't know. I've stumbled through and struggled through a lot of issues. I have a decent knowledge base of chainmail, and I'm not an expert, but I know where the experts are. You know? I know where a lot of the questions can be answered, and it's like, if you know, if I never get rich and famous for making chainmail, and I never make a lot of money as a human being in this art medium, you know, I'm okay with that, because I've probably introduced 20 to 30 people to chainmail, and it's like, if that's all I manage to do, that's good enough, you know? It's like, yeah, I want a world famous chainmail themed clothing line. I'll get there. One day. But part of making that line come to fruition, right, is people, first off, they got to know what chainmail is. Then they got to know that your clothing line exists. Then they got to be as in love with chainmail as you are, to the point where they want to wear chainmail every day, all day, and make it all day, every day, and show it off to their friends all day, every day, right? And then, if I convince enough people that, you know, that is the lifestyle they should want, yeah, maybe I'll become rich and famous. Where are we at here? Do you make those shapes out of chain, or does it grow that way when you're harvesting it? Yeah, so I've got a bin full of rings here. And I used the small rings here, and we weave them together to make the big rings, and then the big rings get woven together and into specific pattern to make a cube. I don't know how. Here, if I pick this up, I can't do that with my right arm. Okay, so that is cube shaped on the bottom. And that is like, it's going to be square on every side, right? That thing is dense, dude. Anyway, Jay McNally, how you doing? Thanks for the question. Warrior Squirrel, thank you. Thanks for the follow. All right, so this goes this way, this goes up this way. Haha, it shakes the desk now when you set it down. Yeah. It's not, you know, this desk is not very stable, but you know, I can't talk shit about this desk. This desk is over 20 years old now. My roommate got it in 2003, 2003, when we were in school for nursing in the military out in DC. And he didn't want it when he left. So I have dragged this around from Fort Polk to Fort Sam, my first apartment, my first house, and now this house for the last 20 years. Originally, in order to get it to fit in my room at Fort Polk, there's a hole here and right up here, and I had an overhead light, but I needed a bright light, and we didn't have like easy access LEDs back then that I was aware of, and I had one of those standing lamps with a daylight bulb in it to light up my work area inside of my barracks room. And then I'm about to put 2 more holes into it. These armrests keep slipping all around, right? So I'm gonna make some holes in the bottom of the desk, on the underside of the desk, for them to be held into. It was the wrong way. Thank you, Mac. It has helped create many things. Do I sell the cube? This will absolutely be for sale. And then I have this cube, and I'm going to make a bunch of similar ones. I was going to make another large cube like this, but I'm just going to make a bunch of similar ones. Larger ring size, smaller number of rings, right? And I'm going to put those up for sale because I need to raise some money. I did decide against a raffle. I haven't done any work on anything yet, but yeah, I have decided against the raffle. Just because. Okay. Like, I can't justify, spending money I don't have on these projects, right? So if I'm going to keep going with these projects, I need to make something for sale. What I don't want to get caught up in is only making stuff for sale and not art projects, right? But I have some great rings to make some awesome cubes out of. And I should make some cubes and sell them, because let's be honest, if you look at any of my comment sections on TikTok or Instagram, there's got to be 1,000 people asking for me to make them a cube, or asking where to get a cube. And that's a lot of money I'm passing up in the hopes that this sells, right? Does that make sense? No, it doesn't. How long does it usually take to make the cube with the smaller rings? Okay, so this cube, I've done the math on this before. It's like 140, 150 hours, something like that. There's 22,000 rings in this cube, so that one's an extreme. And that has sold for a large price, so. Other smaller cubes, you know, 5-6 hours, depending on, you know, how many rows you want it to be. If I make a bunch of cubes that are like 7 by 7, that's a decent size. Don't charge too much for them so they sell quick, you know. But what's more important, right, to me? Is it more important for me to make really cool chainmail stuff and hopefully get into some kind of gallery someday and be known for doing that? Or is it important for me to make a bunch of the same stuff over and over and over again? And no shade against those chainmail artists who do. I respect the hustle. But, you know, I don't want to spend my time doing that. If I'm going to spend hours making something, I want it to last for forever, and I want it to be, you know, not like everything else that people make chainmail with. So, how about a balance of some of both? Yeah. No, for sure. Well, and that's why, like, I have bracelets that I need to sell. I was thinking of just, like, starting a stream. I probably got 10 or 15 bracelets and a couple necklaces and stuff. As, like, you know, start a stream and be like, I'm not going to stop streaming until everything sells. And then do like a 25% discount or something and just try and sell a whole bunch of stuff. And like, I don't know how I would hype it up while I was doing that stream, but I'm sure I could find some kind of graphics or filters or something. Oh, excuse me. So I could, you know, sell those because those are like ready to go. And I have other necklaces and bracelets. I've got the hardware and most of the materials for them. I have to make them, right? So, I mean, I do make stuff for sale. I do have my own lines of jewelry, if you will. I need to do more of it, you know. And if you got 100 people asking you for one thing, you know, should you stop and make that thing? Maybe. Probably. There we go. Alright, you can also post it as an event and let people register for the event. And then promote the post. There we go. That's a good idea. What is this? You think a showcase live would work decently? Maybe. I don't know. You know. Would I be streaming for like 12 hours straight? Possibly. I don't know. Glenn. So I'm making a large chainmail cube sculpture. And then it's going to be suspended Put some lights on it. And it's going to be a cool little piece of art when I'm done. Robert, how you doing? I think that's why setting an event helps, and all of us can share out the event as well. Is that something you can do on TikTok? You thought it was a purse? This is about 25 pounds now. Brings a whole new meaning to the hit him with your purse, Steve. Right? This would actually do some damage. You can also share the post for the event to the Discord. Yeah. I'll have to figure out if and when I can set that up. Now that the kid's in school, I can do, like, if I'm not working on this, about 90 minutes is about all I can do on these. If I'm not working and I'm just, like, showing stuff off for sale, and you know, not killing my neck trying to get this stuff done, then yeah, I can do a stream for like 4 or 5 hours. In the post, you can say the finished product will be 30 pounds or so, if my math is correct at all. Women would buy it? I hope so. Ay. There we go. So yeah, women have been some of my best customers when it comes to chainmail. Women would buy it if it was a purse because it's a giant 30-pound purse. Now, so someone made a really awesome chainmail purse the other day. I'm trying to think. I don't remember which group I saw it in. I'd have to go Google it to show you all. There have been several really awesome chainmail purses. Chainmail bags of holding, men and women and Faye will all buy it. Yeah. It's like I have a couple of those. Actually, they're right here. Good Lord. Are they right here? What in the crap happened to them? I guess they're not. Never mind. They've disappeared. There we go. Here's one. Right? The little snap clasps for a purse top. Right? I've got a couple of those. I'll make something with them eventually. But, the quality of these is not that high, right? Like I would want this to be silver at least, but this is like brass coated something. So I'll make something out of it, but I'm not going to put a lot of time to it. There's not enough quality in the material, in the supplies that I have. Man. You're very talented. During October, you'll see about buying one of the chainmail cubes and a necklace. Hey, if I have them, I'll have some of the cubes done by then, Alex. The necklaces, I got to do some more research. I had a chainmail sporran at one time, and it was made of stainless steel. Don't make a stainless steel sporran, because you can't walk with them. Because you will just, hit yourself right in the area you don't want to be hit. That was my first attempt. I will attempt another attempt, and I will do aluminum the next time. And I've got, what do you call it? A sporran cantle. Just put it to the side, yeah. Make a chainmail handle for, what am I making? The little purse. Yes, should definitely do that. All right, it's 10:05, but I've only got a couple more rings to finish this large ring, and then all the large rings on this fourth layer will be done. It's just getting the black and stainless pieces on there. Sporrans are typically worn central on the body, right? There are no real rules when it comes to kilts and how you wear them and what you wear them with, right? There are standards for how to traditionally wear a kilt and what it's worn. Like if you were to wear a kilt to a Burns night, which is where they read Robert Burns' poetry, I think his name is, famous Scottish poet, right? Like, there's a certain way they expect you to dress in your kilt. Like, you're wearing knee-high hose with the flashes, you're wearing Gillibrogue shoes, you're wearing your sporran, and it's going to be like a dress sporran. Like if you've ever seen a bagpiper, the horsehair sporran that they have, it's going to be a flashy sporran that you're going to wear. It's not just going to be like a daily wear kind of sporran. So for certain functions, like if you're a bagpiper, you're going to a formal event, there's a certain way to wear it. Everything, if you're going to a Renaissance festival, a rock concert, I went to a Tool concert in a kilt down in San Antonio, right? And you can, wear it however you want with whatever you want. Just don't wear it backwards. Not because that means that you're a flaming gay individual. It just means that you don't know how to wear a kilt, right? And I say that it doesn't mean that you're a flaming gay individual, because that is what a lot of people confuse it for. I've seen no evidence in the gay community to suggest that wearing your kilt backwards, or wrong, as most people would call it, is indicative of your sexuality in any manner. So, just don't wear it backwards, because that means that you don't know how to wear it. And then wear it with whatever you want. Kilts look better with boots, sporans for daily wear. Can be worn to the side. They can be worn in the center. It's up to you. You don't have to wear a sporan at all. You get a utilikilt, they have pockets. But the sport utility kilts, heard good things about. No pockets. Then there is, what is, oh my god, I can't believe I'm blanking on this right now. Hang on. It's on my freaking home screen. There we go. Okay. USA Kilts with my buddy. I'm terrible friend. I know the owner of USA Kilts. We're friends on Facebook, right? As much as you can know someone you randomly meet on the internet, I know the owner of USA Kilts. USA Kilts does tremendous work. They've got a lot of historical tartans, a lot of formal wear that they can hook you up with. All in all, for any traditional kilt wear or formal wear, it's USA Kilts for me. And the owner's name is... You have utility kilt, but also wear sporan for the extra storage. Nice. Especially a Ren Fair, yeah. You bought from Highland Kilt? I don't know if I bought from them. Or if I know who they are. Rocky. Rocky, what's his last name? I forget. Anyway, USA Kilts is owned by Rocky. I don't remember his last name. Cool dude, knows a ton about Scottish history. Scottish history, tartan history. Makes videos and does lives discussing all of that. It's a fun guy. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of all the big rings on Layer 4. Ta-da! Oh, God. Look at that. I do have to add all the black and stainless rings still. There's a bunch of those. Mech, do you know Billy B, or is Billy B just, randomly tagging people? Okay. We get those bots in here every now and then. Those tag a random person. I don't know why. Okay. There we go. All right. One more layer. 21 large rings to go. Right? 84. Okay. So the next layer will have 84 of these Byzantine strips. Right? And then I have to finish however many are on here. How many more I need. So I need 4 here, 4 here, 1 there, 1 here, 1 here, 1 here. You know, I need a few more on this layer. Not too many, it doesn't look like. Before that's done. But that's yeah, that's the thing. It's getting somewhere. Holy cow! Did I put in all of the captures? Yeah. So there's with this one right here, that's 6 captures, right? And what he's asking about is this 1-inch ball bearing, right? Goes into the gap of there's 6 pockets, right? Where the rings come together to make a space, and I filled those with 1-inch ball bearings in order to help take up space and keep things nice and rigid so that this doesn't lose shape. Saint, how you doing? I'm making a large chainmail cube sculpture, and it's going to be suspended from one corner to the other. I swear, kind of like so. Like that'll be one of the corners right there. That cable will hang out the bottom like so, you know. And I'm gonna. Oh, I was trying to talk about it earlier, but I must have like forgot what I was talking about, which happens to me all the time when I'm streaming. So the display idea, right? Since I can't weld, okay, there's the cube, there's a square of metal going around the cube, another square of metal, and then a base plate, right? So in order to put lights focused on this, and in order to make the display myself and not have to use someone else's talents or pay someone else for it, I'm gonna use pipes. And if you go to like Pipe Depot, pipe decor, right? You can buy all the parts you need to both suspend this cube, build a base for it so it doesn't topple over, a place to tie off the cables, and the cable and the electrical cord for the display are both going to be wrapped in chainmail, right? Actually, I don't know if wrapping the electrical cord is a good idea. It sounded like a good idea into my head until I added the words electrical cord to it. An electrical cord wrapped in chainmail. It's probably a bad idea, right? I don't know. But the cable will be covered in chainmail so you can't see it, or most of it anyway. And then the pipes, they have like pipe attachments for lights. And I figured that's going to be the easiest, fastest way for me to get this up on a display. And that's going to be it. So that's the route I'm going to take. So hopefully we'll actually have this built into a display. And it's going to be like pretty big. Going to be kind of a build it once and then take pictures. And put it away kind of deal, because I don't know if I have space for it down here in my basement. So if you add the electrical cable afterwards so there's no tension on it, it'd be fine. Well, I'm just talking about like going, okay. The electrical cable will get all the lights together, right? And then it'll go to a cord that'll plug into the outlet, right? So that cord that plugs into the outlet, right? That section where it leaves the display and goes to the outlet. I was like, yeah, I'll wrap that in chainmail too. And then I was like, what if that gets frayed? It shouldn't inside the chainmail. It's very protected. But also it's metal surrounding electrical cable. And if it does get frayed, you know, who's to say it's not going to happen or can't happen? No one would be able to tell because it's wrapped in chainmail. And then they'd plug it in, and then they'd electrocute themselves. So, yeah, probably not a good idea. I'm glad that we discussed this, because I was about to end someone's life unknowingly, on accident, in the future. Long time from now. But it would have happened. Alrighty. Yeah, if you want to get good at yodeling, go watch The Sound of Music 500,000 times because it's the only movie your mom will watch while you're growing up. It's a good time. It's totally premeditated. 5 years from now, when the chord phrase, after I've sold this, the cops are going to be like, he said it in a stream. He planned it. Yeah. In Minecraft. All right. So for anyone interested in learning more about chainmail, if you're on, well, actually here, I'll just share the link. Okay. Copy. Paste. All right. Oh, no. Why do I keep doing that? I are a dumb. That Linktree link I just sent. So that's the Linktree to all my other social medias, which feel free to follow along. But the top link is the Mailworks web app. And inside the web app is all the resources I would have wanted when I first got started making chainmail. 100 years ago. 28 years ago? Yeah. And so if you're interested in learning more about chainmail, check out that link. There's where to find suppliers, where to find tutorials, where to find other chainmail artists. I'm late. Yeah, hey, Mom, I'm going to bed. Hang on. I had to finish up like the last ring. I was going over time to finish off this last ring. But yeah, open up the Mailworks web app at the top link, and then that's all the resources that I know of right now. I do have some more to add, and I'm going to make the app a little more user-friendly. But that is the place I would start. And then it's bedtime for us parents to be able to wake our kiddos up and then take them to school. Yeah, isn't that some crap? I can't sleep in until 11 like my kid did all summer. I got to get up with him and take him to school. Some bullshit. So, download the app, or open up the web app, join the Discord, go follow my other social medias, pretty please. Donate to my coffee app, and then the best way to support the channel is to go to myusername.com, mailworks.com. I design and sell chainmail themed apparel as well as make chainmail, and there's lots of cool stuff on my website. So like giant chainmail snug hoodies, giant chainmail onesies. I'm gonna make some more designs for that, and yeah, that's the best way to support me. I greatly appreciate everyone being here, hanging out. Likes, shares, comments, always free. I do appreciate those, and all of you who are chilling with me. But I do have to get off of here and get to bed so that I can get up with my kiddo tomorrow and take him to school because he can't drive and it's too far for him to walk and there's no bus that takes him. And me. Anyway, all right. You guys are the best. I will talk to you later. Ow. I don't know how that happened. You guys have a good night. Bye.